Hello everyone, it's me again, Joseph, your host, and welcome back to our channel and the Catechism for Kids. As the Christmas season fills the air with beautiful music, have you ever wondered where our favorite carols come from? Today, we're diving deep into the history of one of the most joyful Christmas hymns of all time, Good Christian Men, Rejoice. You might be surprised to learn that this beloved carol has its roots deep in the medieval Catholic Church. It's born from a heavenly vision experienced by a German mystic over 700 years ago. The story begins not with the English words we know today, but with a much older Latin and German hymn called In Dulci Jubilo. This phrase translates to in sweet rejoicing, and that perfectly captures the spirit of the song. It dates all the way back to the 14th century, a time when most people, especially peasants, couldn't read or write. Even if they could, the language of the church was Latin, which was not their everyday tongue. So, how did the church teach the faithful about the incredible story of Christmas? Through music. In Dulci Jubilo is a special kind of song called a Macaronic hymn. This just means it cleverly mixes two languages. In this case, it blended the formal Latin of the church with the common German spoken by the people. Imagine hearing a line in Latin that you might not understand, followed immediately by a line in your own language that explains it. It was a brilliant way to communicate the core truths of the faith. The Latin phrases gave it a sense of sacred authority, while the German verses made the message of Christmas joy personal and understandable for everyone. The origins of this beautiful hymn are tied to a fascinating figure in Catholic history, the Dominican friar and mystic, Heinrich Suso. He lived in Germany around the year 1328. Suso was known for his intense devotion and piety. According to a story written down in the 14th century, Suso was in his cell, feeling a bit down, when suddenly he had a divine vision. Angels appeared to him, shining brightly. They told him that God had sent them to bring him heavenly joy amid his earthly sorrows. The angels encouraged him to cast aside his worries and join them. What did they do? They started to sing and dance. The song they sang was In Dulci Jubilo. The account says the angels took Suso by the hand and pulled him into a joyous, heavenly dance. He was so moved by this experience that he wrote down the words and the melody, wanting to share this divine joy with the world. This story helps explain why the tune of the carol has such a lively, dance-like rhythm. It's not just a song. It's the sound of heavenly celebration, a melody that practically invites you to dance with joy, just as Heinrich Suso did with the angels. For centuries, In Dulci Jubilo spread across Europe, passed down through handwritten manuscripts. The oldest surviving copy of the music we have dates to around 1400, found in a library in Leipzig, Germany. It became incredibly popular, a true medieval hit. Even after the Protestant Reformation, the song's appeal didn't fade. In fact, it was included in some of the earliest Lutheran hymnals, like one published by Joseph Klug in 1533. Martin Luther himself is even thought to have added a verse to it later on. The hymn's universal message of joy transcended denominational lines. A major reason we still have this medieval gem today is because it was included in a very important songbook from 1582, called the Piae Cantiones. This was a collection of sacred and secular medieval songs, published in Finland, but containing music from all over Europe. The Piae Cantiones acted like a time capsule, preserving these precious pre-Reformation Catholic musical traditions for future generations. It captured the folk music that had been the heart and soul of worship for centuries. So how did this medieval German and Latin hymn become the English carol Good Christian Men, Rejoice? We have to fast forward a few hundred years to the 19th century. The man responsible for the English version was an Anglican priest named John Mason Neale. In 1853, Neale, who was a key figure in the Oxford movement, a group that sought to reconnect the Anglican Church with its ancient and Catholic roots, decided to translate the hymn. His translation wasn't a direct word-for-word copy. Instead, it was a paraphrase, capturing the joyful spirit of In Dulci Jubilo in singable English verses. Neale's version is the one most of us recognize, with its famous lines, news, news, joy, joy. But here's a fun fact. Those repeated words were actually the result of a small mistake. When Neale's collaborator, Thomas Helmore, was transcribing the medieval music, he misinterpreted the musical notation, which led to the creation of those short, punchy, repeated notes and words. Some musical purists at the time were quite critical of this change, calling it a mutilation of the perfect original tune. However, others have argued that this happy accident is precisely what makes Neil's version so catchy and memorable. It adds an extra burst of excitement to the song. Despite the changes, the theological heart of the carol remains the same. Both in Dulci Jubilo and Good Christian Men, Rejoice communicate profound Catholic truths in simple, beautiful language. The song tells us that Jesus, the Alpha and Omega, was born of a virgin to save us from sin. It proclaims that Christ's birth has opened the door to paradise, bringing peace and joy to a world that was lost in darkness. It's a message of ultimate hope and redemption, wrapped in a melody that you can't help but smile to. The influence of In Dulci Jubilo didn't stop with popular carols. It has inspired some of the greatest composers in history. The German Baroque master Dietrich Buxtehude wrote a beautiful chorale cantata based on the melody. And of course, the great Johann Sebastian Bach set the tune multiple times. His organ chorale prelude, catalogued as BWV 729, is famously used as the postlude, the final organ piece, for the Festival of 9 Lessons and Carols at King's College, Cambridge. It's a tradition that sends everyone out into the Christmas night with that joyful, angelic melody echoing in their hearts. Later composers, like Franz Liszt, included it in his piano suite Weihnachtsbaum, or Christmas Tree. And in the 20th century, rock musician Mike Oldfield created an instrumental version that became a massive pop hit in the UK in the 1970s, proving the timeless appeal of this 700-year-old tune. The journey of this carol is truly remarkable. It began as a vision of dancing angels shared with a medieval Catholic mystic. It became a teaching tool for the illiterate faithful, mixing Latin and German in a Macaronic style. It survived the Reformation, was preserved in collections like the Piae Cantiones, and was eventually transformed into a beloved English carol by a 19th century priest. Today, Good Christian Men, Rejoice stands as a testament to the power of music to carry the message of faith across centuries, languages, and cultures. It reminds us that the joy of Christmas is a deep, sweet rejoicing, a divine gift meant to be shared with everyone. It connects us back to the heart of the medieval church, to the simple, profound faith of those who first heard this tune and felt compelled to sing and dance in celebration of Christ's birth. So, the next time you hear or sing Good Christian Men, Rejoice, remember its incredible story. Think of Heinrich Suso dancing with the angels, of medieval peasants learning the gospel through song, and of the unbroken chain of Christians who have shared this melody for over 7 centuries. It truly is a song of sweet rejoicing. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the history of a classic carol. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more stories behind our favorite traditions. Take care, everyone. Stay safe and healthy as usual. God bless you always, and may your hearts be filled with joy.